The Monster of Hell's Lake, written by the sleeping Wendigo. It is 1954, and it is a cold, wet day on the lake. We are looking for a good fishing spot when another boat comes into view, with no one visible aboard. As we get closer, we see blood stains on the deck and on the side of the boat. I looked over at my friend, who was next to me, and told him we need to get the hell out of here. As we start to pull off from the other boat, something rams into the side of our boat, making it shake. We hear the sound of the boat scraping against whatever rammed into us as we left the area. Reaching the shore, we both hastily grabbed our equipment to head back into town as soon as we could tell the authorities about the boat and whatever rammed into us. When we got to the police station and told them what happened, they had a look of suspicion as we told them the story. When we got done explaining what happened and told them we could show them the area, we all went back to the lake. When we arrived, they told us to take them to the area where the attack occurred, so we showed them the other boat. As we got closer, they told us to stop beside the other boat and stay inside ours. The officers climbed on board the other boat to investigate a potential crime. When they got done, they hooked the other boat to ours and climbed aboard. We headed back to the shore. The next few days, we stayed away from the lake so the officers could do a full investigation. As they did their job, we went to the local bar to talk about what happened. As we ordered drinks, we recalled what happened when we saw the other boat. As we talked about the attack, 3 gentlemen came up to us to ask about what happened that day. The questions they asked were odd, asking if we heard anything in the water that day or seen anything beside the boat. We replied to them saying that something did hit the side of the boat, but we didn't know what it was. They started saying that they had something happen to them 10 years back or so, when the 3 of them were fishing at the lake. They said that they had something that looked like a large snake in the water. We just stared at them as they finished their story, and asked if they think there is a monster living in the lake. One of them just simply replied with a curt yes, as they walk out of the bar, and we just started to drink again as they left. The next day we saw a newspaper about the attack on the boat, and the police say it was a robbery that went really wrong. Thinking to ourselves of a robbery, but when we saw the boat, it had nothing on board that was reported missing. So we decided to head back to the lake ourselves to see if we could find anything. Heading out the next morning, we were getting our equipment ready for the next day. As we got to the lake, we put our things in the boat and headed off to the middle of the lake. When we got to the center, a thick fog started to roll in. All we could do was sit there and wait, in hopes of seeing something. We heard something big swimming in the water near our boat. We started to worry about what was in the water, and if we had made a mistake, we shouldn't have gone back. And my friends looked off to the side of the boat and said, "There's something beside us." Before I could do anything, I saw a large, long-bodied creature pull him off the boat. I ran over to try and pull him back in, but whatever it was too strong to fight. I started the boat and we went back to the shore. I left everything in the boat and went into town to get the police back out to the lake to help me find my friend. I told the police that he fell overboard and we needed to start a search party, so the police and a few local men came back to the lake with me to search for him. A few hours went by and one of the locals found a leg after sweeping the lake floor. The police took it to examine to find out what attacked him, whose leg this might belong to. A few more hours went by and they couldn't find anything else in the lake, so they gave up on the search. Everyone went back to the town for the next few days. One of the police called me up and told me to come into the police department. When I came in, they told me to sit down. I sat down, and they told me to tell them what really happened at the lake that day. So, I told them about finding the boat with the blood stains and 3 gentlemen telling us about the monster and what happened when it pulled my friend off the boat. I could already tell by the looks of their faces that they did not believe me, or it was a story they had already heard before. "You're telling us that some creature is in that lake eating people, and that is what took your friend?" one of the cops asked sternly. "Yes," I replied. "The leg had teeth marks on it when we found it." "Yeah? So that could have been any animal in the area." "Yeah, but nothing around here has teeth that large," I insisted. They could have thrown me at the door laughing, but instead I found myself being put in a pair of handcuffs and being put in a small cell. A couple of days later, they released me saying it was not me who did it, because another attack just happened. After walking out of the jailhouse, I found the closest newspaper to read what happened in the few days I was locked up. It read that 2 people went missing a couple of days ago, and I couldn't find anything of their whereabouts. I went back to the lake to try and find a clue or anything about what was going on in the lake. When I got to the lake, I got into a boat and went to the center to see if anything would happen. When nothing happened in a few hours, I thought to head back to the shore and head back into town. That's when I felt a bump on the other side of my boat. When it hit the side of the boat, it caused the engine to cut off. I tried restarting the engine, but nothing happened. I was stranded in the middle of a lake with something periodically ramming my boat. I kept trying to start the engine a few times, but every time I tried, whatever was in the water rammed into my boat again. When it got dark, things got a lot worse. The thing kept ramming into my boat more often, and when night fell, at one point I thought I would be thrown overboard. When dawn broke, everything went quiet, and the creature quit ramming the boat. I was able to turn the engine back on and headed back to shore. I went back to town. When I got to town, those same men from the bar came back to talk to me again about the creature in the lake. When they came up to me, I knew what they were going to say. They wanted me to help them find the creature to prove it was real to everyone in town. So, we started getting some equipment for the search for the monster we had seen. When we got some weapons and equipment for the battle, we got in one of their trucks and went to the lake. We got there in the evening and decided to wait for night to fall. We then took my boat and went to the center of the lake and set up a harpoon bought from a local store in the area. One of the men set a harpoon at the back of the boat in case it went to attack at night. But nothing happened. The next morning, we had breakfast and started talking about why we were looking for the creature. My reason was because it killed my friend. Their reason was because they had seen it multiple times through the years and it was a nuisance. They had never gotten the chance to fire a harpoon at it in all the time that they've seen it. We decided to stay on the boat for the next few days. We had enough supplies to stay on the boat for a while. The next day, we sat and watched the water for any sign of movement. We thought we heard a splash about 100 feet away from our boat, but we didn't see anything. When night fell, we heard some noises from the water. Then, all of a sudden, one of the other men said, "There, he's coming behind us." When I yelled, "Shoot it with the harpoon!" That's when the creature came up from the dark water and grabbed one of the other men and dragged him under the water. I ran towards the harpoon and waited for it to resurface so I could shoot it and end all of the chaos this thing made. When it did resurface, it rammed the boat, making another man fall overboard. We did not see him again. The attack stopped after the creature had eaten the 2 men. The next day, the last one who was with me was upset over the loss of his friends, like I was when it killed my friend. I tried to tell him We would kill this thing. We just needed it to surface behind the boat. That is when we had the idea to drive slowly to attract the creature to us. I turned on the engine to the boat, and we started to move about, slowly. After a few minutes, the creature started ramming into the boat to try and make one of us fall overboard. When it came up, it slammed the back of the boat, causing the last person with me to fall, giving the creature time to bite his arm, while he was in the boat, taking him with it. I ran towards the harpoon and the creature came up out of the water. When I had the shot, I fired the harpoon directly into the mouth of the beast, making it roar in pain. As I got ready to fire another one at it, it retreated back under the water. With my harpoon ready, I waited for it to attack. It rammed the side of the boat multiple times. Then, I saw it swimming towards me. With one well-aimed shot, I fired the harpoon right between its eyes, causing it to sink into the water. I dragged the dead creature to the shore. I called the police to let them know I killed the beast, and when they got there, they called someone at the Pentagon and let them know what happened. Shortly after, someone came and retrieved the body of the creature. They told us to never tell anyone about the creature or how I killed it. I am choosing to stay anonymous to keep the government off of my back. I will keep searching for these creatures, and if there are any out there, I will do my best to destroy them.